Yes. Is it for you?
Yes.
Yes, please. No, please speak in the microphone. That's why they gave you.
Do you have the?
No. Make sure you speak.
Do you have a branch in Lagos?
I
So
do.
that people can have.
You are asking?
God, yeah.
No, I
Because I
don't.
want to send some people.
No. No, I have a school in Lagos.
A school. Okay.
Yes, I have a school in Lagos.
Whereabouts?
Where
I
about?
want to send some people there. Yeah.
Okay. There is John Enalema here. He's the tallest guy in town. But you have to stand for them to see you. Pastor John is here.
Pastor John.
Yeah, so if you get to him, he will give you the information for the school. Now, the reason I'm not having church in Nigeria is because I am not a normal Nigerian guy, And the normal Nigerian guy will say, I've made it here, let me go and start church at home. And, you've got to carry the blessing of overseas home. That's my local language. There's a proverb that's like that. So, but I don't just do things for doing its sake or for ego's sake or because that is what people have to do or expect from you. So it's not my calling. It's not my assignment to do that in Nigeria. I think my assignment for Nigeria is to help the pastors there to get the right concept of the gospel. They already have too many churches in that place. And it's not church that Nigeria needs now. Nigeria needs change mind, change leaders, and people who have the right message of the kingdom. And that's what I want to partner with the existing churches, teach them. And that's why we started the school. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. They want me to tell you about the latest book. All these books just came out this week in English. So these are the latest books. So you have the rest of the books in your list, but these are the latest. Growing Wealthy Without Tears. Talking about principles of being rich and keeping yourself, for the wealth not to get into you, for the money not to get into your spirit. Just without tears, without regrets. Then calling, purpose, and attaining goals. These people always ask me the question, how do I discover my calling? How do I discover my calling? How do I go through it? How do I get past? What do you teach your people? So you could use this as a textbook for your people to teach them to actually, discover their calling, go through the process of development, and attain the goals. The Restorers of the Earth. This is talking about getting individual people to go and, take dominance of a sphere of life, of all spheres of life, like our people are doing. Church, taking the church to conquer the world, the Restorers of the Earth. So raising people that will restore the nation, not the city. The Happiness of a Man, and here, the Happiness of a Woman. I and my princess sharing the book together. It's a good idea. Yeah. She wrote for the ladies, and I wrote for the gentlemen. So what makes men happy and what makes women happy? Then, of course, this is my next book that is going to come out in the United States this summer or autumn. So, but I already got some copies. It's called Money Won't Make You Rich. But actually here is the principles of how to become millionaires. This is how I raised 200 millionaires in 2 years. But this other book is more important, I think, or is as important. This is to preserve you. To preserve you. So I would recommend you to read this one first before getting that other one. Now, Pastor Debo, what do you want to say? I think, do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, when it comes to the teaching that is being passed across, they are raw revelations, but when it comes to every area has their own little approach of what is needed. Like for the kind of people we have in UK, you have to look for a way to get them detached from addiction to work. Their work is their God. And that's why you find out dedication here, you always ask, is it the same Bible we are reading here, they are reading there? Because sometimes I look for what to do, whether to break their mind and put aside. Because their work mentality, now, thy kingdom come, that will be done, give us our daily bread. Now they are carried the gift of daily bread and put it as kingdom come first. So because some people come by migration, some come by salvation. Now, because of this problem, some have a lot of teaching on their mind because it's all gospel of salvation on their brain. So trying to now tell them, look, this thing is meant for you to go out because they know it's responsibility. They don't want to do it. They write down the note, they pray, and they won't do it. So that is why I decided to do some things, and that is done. Now, that is one aspect. Everybody don't want to join me to that now. But what I see here is not just one thing. People are in different areas. And you don't have to be involved in everything throughout. Now, some of the things I started, but hand it over to somebody, start another thing. Now, how do you move the people from our own kind of state? Because the kind of people we have, they are very wonderful people when they come to... Because there's a spirit in that place that has taken people's mind off money. Just walk. Kingdom of God is later. Now, helping the people to be able to... I know this is mental issue now. You have to reprogram their brain. Now, doing that is one. Now, to move them to start be able to take action on ground, not just writing note. Tell me something, sir.
Tell me something. All right. The basic answer is contained in some of the statements you made, which is you've got to reprogram them. That is why Romans 12:1 and 2 says, don't be conformed to this world, but renew, be transformed through or by the renewing of your mind. So everything, your success in working with people, all depends majorly on your ability to transform their thinking. And now, who is to blame for that? For the failure or success in transforming the mind of the people is not the people, but you. So, my situation is this. I only have problem till I'm able to sit you down. At least one time. That is, I only have problem until I'm able to get your attention. I know you, France. Oh, I was looking at him. So I only have problem until I'm able to sit you down. You know, that is one thing you have to also learn from me. Myself, I'm not just a teacher. I don't even regard myself as a good speaker. I'm not a good speaker. I'm not eloquent. I'm not oratory. I'm not an even good teacher self. I'm not good in those things as such. But I'm good in one thing. I am a mobilizer. I can mobilize. I can talk to you in such a way that I have to begin to stop you again from running to before you go and run and spoil the job. I can really motivate, you know. So you've got, if you want to be a great leader, you've got to be able to do that. It doesn't matter how you are eloquent, you are not eloquent, but you must be able to find your own way of doing it. So in my situation, I only need to get you to sit down one time. If I could get anybody to listen to me one time, it's in trouble already. You know, I get to them. So even people who hate me in this country, they hate me until they meet me only. Once they meet with me once, even if they don't want to follow me, at least they have become my disciple in absentia. So you have to measure your success with working with people by your ability to renew to be able to influence them in such a way that they will change their way of thinking. So teaching people doesn't make that happen. Preaching to people doesn't make that happen because you give them knowledge. That doesn't mean you change their thinking system or their thinking process. For it takes a combination of things to take people from listening to you to actually agreeing to change their way of thinking. It takes a whole deeper work. So many pastors make a mistake of thinking that what they only need to do to change people or make people listen to them is to talk to them, teach them, or preach to them. That is where we are missing it. If you want people to follow you, to change their own concepts of thinking or their way of thinking, and to begin to follow you, you must do more than telling them what to do. So, let me give you an example. Jesus spoke about the parable of the sower. How many of you remember that? That the sower went and threw the seeds, and some fell in the hard rock, some fell on the roadside, some fell on the thorns, some fell in the good soil, right? Now, do you know, as a master, that is, for me, what I've discovered is that all those ground could be fruitful. All the 4 grounds could be fruitful, not just the good soil. All the soil could be fruitful. Even the one with the rock could still germinate. How? Everything depends not on the soil. Everything depends not on the seed. Everything depends on the farmer. On the farmer. Not just the sower, but the farmer. You have to decide who you are. If you are just a sower doesn't go deeper. It just goes, he throws it. But if he's a farmer, the only thing you need to do, take some time out. The sower doesn't need to take much time out. He just sowed it as a. But the farmer will take time out to examine the soil. And when he discovers stones and rock in that ground, he will take his time to cultivate the soil and remove. The only thing you need to do when it's rocky soil is to take time. More time, agreed. More labor, agreed. More efforts, agreed. But if you are a real master farmer, just like you are, what I'm talking about, mobilizer, master mobilizer. When you are a real mobilizer, when you are a real mobilizer of men, you will take time to uproot and get to the bottom of that rock and those stones. And you will find the equipment and the instrument to use to remove those those stones from there. Most of the grounds that are now being used for agriculture worldwide used to be, irrelevant in the olden days. They used to be full of thorns and stones and rock, but they have now been, irritated, and they have been irrigated and, developed and cultivated, that they are now a fruitful soil. Why? Somebody took the time. So the same thing with the one that fell on the road, beside the road, because people will fall, people will trap it, step on it, and all that. But when you are a master farmer, you will take the time to get it from there, put it in a different place, prepare the soil, and put it in a place where it will be protected. The one that fell among the thorns as well, you could take the time to go and cultivate and remove and just uproot from the soil those thorns, and make sure that you take good care of the soil itself before you plant on it. So the problem is not with the soil, really, and the problem is not really with the seed. The problem is with the sower or the farmer. So what do I say? When I'm always careful of pastors who point fingers at their members. When you point one finger at your member, 4 come back to you. People are not bad people everywhere. People are the same. People are neutral. Just like money. Right? Some people say money spoils people. Well, it only spoils people who are already bad. Money reveals who you are. It didn't spoil you. No, it's neutral. Money is neutral. The same thing with members. They are neutral. It depends on what you do with them. Now, even Jesus, who is the master teacher and master farmer, master mobilizer, had Judas. But Judas is only 1 out of 12. But when you already begin to have 10 out of 12 being Judas, It is not the problem of Judas anymore. It's now problem of master. So you follow me more, Pastor. Learn from me the more. Copy me more. Learn from my principles the more. You will discover that I never complain about people. When I begin to see that they don't follow me, they don't do what I tell them to do, I discover that I have not done my own work very well. There is something I've not gotten to them. I've not mobilized them enough. I've not trained them enough. I've not impacted them enough. I've not done enough. I must go back to develop myself. Just like in your own case, you have a testimony. You told me your testimony yesterday that you have been in England for 2 years. Your church has been there for 2 years. You've done a great job at winning Africans, right? And he has about 200 people in 2 years. That is unheard of in England. Then he came and joined our church. our Bible school. He came, joined me, became connected to me, and he began to learn. We went to Germany to learn from Pastor Tokwe. He came here, and he went to Bible school, and he said he learned that we are having a feeding program for the homeless. Now, this man decided to just go and risk it and went to provide for homeless people, but not just to feed them where they are. He also went to the extent of going to get a bus or hire a bus. That you are not just going to eat my food, we are going to bring you to church by after that. But it is the people themselves who are even asking him, why do you just feed us? They take us to. So right now, in a matter of 2 weeks or 1 month, he's already having 20 white men, white Englishmen in his church. And now the reason he has to leave tomorrow is because somebody heard of what he's doing with these white men. They are now asking him to come tomorrow to get 40 other people to come to his church. Because he went out of his way to break himself, to sacrifice, to, do. And it's now soon you are going to be working like that. You are going to have more white people in your church than you already have black people already. So the good thing about him is that he's willing to learn. That's why I'm able to answer him like that. Because some people, they will get annoyed at me because I answered their question. Anyway, thank you so very much, everybody.
достоин, Бог наш. Мы благодарны Тебе за Твою любовь и милость к нам. Благодарим Тебя за то, что Ты даешь нам силы каждый день. Славим Тебя, превозносим. Ты чудный, чудный царь. Ты чудный царь, великий Бог. Не для меня других богов. Иисус, Иисус, хвала Тебе. Ты мой герой, мой лучший друг, и лишь с Тобой я быть хочу. Иисус, Иисус, хвала Тебе. Чудный, чудный царь, Ты чудный царь, великий Бог, не для меня других богов. Иисус, Иисус, хвала Тебе. Ты мой герой, мой лучший друг, и лишь с Тобой я быть хочу. Иисус, Иисус, хвала Тебе. Я не забуду никогда все, что Ты сделал для меня. Мою жизнь Ты искупил, дал замен свою. Теперь навеки я с Тобой, меня ведешь Ты за собой. Как драгоценна для меня Твоя любовь, я не забуду никогда. Я не забуду никогда все, что Ты сделал для меня. Мою жизнь Ты искупил, дал замен свою. Теперь навеки я с Тобой, меня ведешь Ты за собой. Как драгоценна для меня Твоя любовь. Как велика Твоя любовь, как велика Твоя любовь, как велика Твоя любовь ко мне. Как велика Твоя любовь, как велика Твоя любовь, как велика Твоя любовь ко мне. Велика, 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 как велика Твоя любовь к Отцу. Как велика Твоя любовь ко мне. Велика, 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 как велика Твоя любовь. Как велика Твоя любовь, как велика Твоя любовь ко мне. Ты чудный, чудный царь, Ты чудный царь, великий Бог, не для меня других богов, да мой Бог. Иисус, Иисус, хвала Тебе. Мой герой, Ты мой герой, мой лучший друг, и лишь с Тобой я быть хочу. Иисус, Иисус, хвала Тебе. Ты чудный, чудный царь, Ты чудный царь, великий Бог, не для меня других богов. Иисус, Иисус, хвала Тебе. Одному Ты мой друг, да, Господь, друг, Ты лучший друг. Я быть хочу. Иисус, Иисус, хвала Тебе. Я не забуду никогда, я не забуду никогда все, что Ты сделал для меня. Все, что сделал для меня. Дал замен свою, дал замен свою. Теперь навеки я с Тобой, меня ведешь и ведешь меня за собой. Ценна для меня Твоя любовь, я не забуду, не забуду, я не забуду никогда все, что Ты сделал для меня. Мою жизнь Ты искупил, дал замен свою. Искупил меня навеки Ты. Теперь навеки я с Тобой, меня ведешь Ты за собой.